looking and I see these long halls with all just doors. And they're walking me down and go, okay, this door. I walk in. It's a big, beautiful 3-bedroom apartment. Just like the Twilight Zone. I look in, I'm looking around, I'm going, I said, all right, look, you got everything here. Your cabinet's packed, your refrigerator's packed. Here's a phone. Here's some to-go order, menus if you want something. You're going to have a guy 24 hours. So if you need anything, you just call, use this phone. Just like the bat phone.
Right. You just pick up the phone, somebody's there.
So wow, let me get some fresh air. I walk over to the window, I get the drapes, a brick wall.
There ain't no windows.
There's no windows, right? I'm just like the Twilight Zone. Remember the episode where they get the guy and they
now you can't leave.
He lands on a planet or something, and they say, sure, we'll duplicate everything. He's, oh yeah, I want this, I want that. They build everything for him perfect, and the guy's so happy, but he can't leave the fucking.
Right, he forgot to tell him something. Yeah, he's trapped.
Then they got to run medical evaluations on you. So now you wake up the next day, they tell you, hey, you got a doctor's appointment in an hour. Get ready. So I didn't have much stuff because I just got out of jail. You go and I see this doctor. I don't know what he was. I don't know if he was a doctor or not. I go into this room, and it's like all steel table, steel friggin' everything, cold. I walk in, there's this guy across the table from me with these glasses on. He had a placard. Obviously he was approved to be there. How you doing, Mr. Gioia? I go, good. Okay, we're going to do some tests.
What kind of tests?
What kind of test? He opens up his bag, pulls out a block set. No bullshit. Four blocks. Square goes in the square. The
round peg in the round hole.
Pegs. Yeah. He said, put this together for me. I start laughing. He's got a stopwatch. So I put it together. He starts taking notes. He goes, okay, good. Puts that on the side. He goes in this big. It's a bigger block set. I put that together. Goes in there, gets another block set. I go, is this a f***ing joke? I said, this is a test? You are coming here to do block sets? So he goes, well, we have to do this evaluation and everything else. I says, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. I got the blocks. I ain't doing it. So he goes, he leaves. That was the end of that session. I go back to my place. The next doctor calls me. I got to go to his thing. Now he's sitting there. He's running with this questionnaire. He gives me this test. And you got to fill in these little, what kind of test do you call that? You remember the questionnaires where you got a pencil and you had to color in like the little circles?
Yeah. Yeah, like for the answers, A, B, C, D.
Yeah, like one is not so much and then the other one is all the way. And then somewhere in the middle is like you're neutral on the whole thing. Gives me this whole thing and I got to fill in the, answer the questions, right?
Like a personality test or something.
I don't know what it was.
Do you get frustrated when things don't go your way?
Bro, this went on for, I want to say 3 days. Right? So finally the third day I go, you know what? They said, all right, listen, be ready around 10 o'clock in the morning. I told the marshal, I said, you know what? I ain't doing it no more. Well, you got to do it. I don't got to do nothing, I said, I'm signing out. Give me whatever paper I got to sign. I want out. Well, wait a minute. No, you wait a minute, I said. I'm not doing it no more. I said, these tests, the psychiatric, all this bullshit. I said, I'm out of jail. That's it. I want out. I said, call whoever you got to go call. I said, call the prosecutor, call the agents, call everybody. I said, I don't want to do it. About an hour goes by because he went to go make some calls, right? He came back. He says, all right, you're out of here tomorrow. Okay, good. I'm leaving. He says, you're out of here tomorrow. No more tests. No more quacks. No more doctors, whoever these guys are, and everything. He says, no more. You're leaving here tomorrow. And that's when the fun happened. Because you get put on plane after plane. And let me tell you something. When you're on the plane, okay, they're on the plane too. You don't know they're there, but they're there. You understand?
Passenger 57.
So when you're...
It's the movie.
So here's what happens. Here's how I figured it out. When I got on the plane, right, because they go, Marshall takes you to the plane. Regular Delta, American Airlines, whatever it was. Regular commercial flight, right? Coach seat. And I go, okay, here's your ticket. And I'm under whatever name they made up. The ticket was already bought and done, right? And
they gave you that name? That you didn't pick it?
No. This is like when they're transporting you, it's a different name. It's like whatever it is.
Okay, so it's not your official new identity.
No, you're flying under something else, right? So anyway, when I get to the thing and I check in, I go and get my seat and sit down. Well, after the flight, you land at whatever location. Well, there's a marshal waiting for you. Well, two marshals are waiting for you when you get off.
To the local guy.
Yeah, but then when I got off the plane, the marshals
walking out behind you.
They're walking behind me, going, "Hey, Frank, where'd you come from?" Well, I was on the flight. Oh, yeah. So they were undercover on the flight. So that's how, like, on top of it, they are. Right?
Well, I'm going to go with a guess that, multiple reasons. One, they got to watch to make sure nobody comes after you. Two, they got to make sure you don't snap and lose it and do something crazy on the plane or try to disappear.
Whatever it is, they were very careful.
Yeah.
So then I get handed off to another
team
of marshals, and then it's to the next flight. And then you stop there, and I go, "Is this my last spot?" No. Then I get put, the next day I land in South Carolina. I never forget, Columbia, South Carolina. You ever heard of it?
Nice place.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Not back then.
Now it's built up. A lot of people, because they go from New York, retiring there.
All right. Well,
a friend of mine, a fireman, he retired. They bought a house down there somewhere.
So this is what happens now, right? Go to Columbia, South Carolina. Now this is going back in 2000. Nice area. They put me up in a hotel. You're on the different name, whatever, right? But you're kind of like a man without you got nothing. You got you just got nothing. You just got the marshal, that's it. The marshal will come see me. He give me a per diem every day. You want to go to lunch, you want to go whatever, because you can't get a job, you got no ID, you got nothing.
Right.
And they're paying for everything. It's not this lavish lifestyle.
You weren't at the Ritz-Carlton?
No, that's all
room service?
No. That's all bullshit. So it was a nice hotel, but it's no Ritz-Carlton, but it was nice.
It wasn't a Motel 6, but it wasn't a Ritz-Carlton.
No, it wasn't a Motel 6. You were there.
Better than MCC?
Way better.
The food was better.
So now here's what happens now. I'm walking around, and I'm saying, well, this is a nice area. It wasn't a bad area. I see the Confederate flag hanging on like a statue and everything. So I didn't know how to take that, I'm looking, I'm going, what does this mean? Right? As I'm going around, the marshal comes to see me. He's coming to see me once a week. I forgot how much he was giving me. He was giving me X amount of dollars a week, but it was enough. It was enough to go have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and if I wanted to order something in the hotel, I could order, right? So you're not starving, right? But you're not going out and popping bottles of champagne either. You don't have a car. You got to stay within the perimeter. You weren't allowed to go outside of whatever. So it's like another prison, but they
they give you a little bit more leash.
Yeah, it's a bigger yard, right? So anyway, I was going to get a haircut in this place, right? And the girls out there, like the internet just started, so I'm like an alien.
Right.
Nobody talks like me out there. So to me, to the girls, you're different. And again, the same problem in Oklahoma. All the girls want to be with you. Right. The guys want to shoot you.
Right.
I meet this girl. She was doing my hair, right? And she's like, when you go to shampoo, and she's rubbing my hair and my head and everything, and we're talking. Beautiful. Real southern.
Like a little mini vacation. You just forget everything that's going on.
And me, like, I prefer brunettes. That's just my taste. Doesn't matter what color hair the girl has. It's what's inside, right? But me, as far as looks, I'm a sucker for brunettes, right? And she was a brunette, blue eyes, Southern belle. Beautiful. Talked with an accent, like a Southern accent. So I start dating her, right? And we're going, she's taking me to places, and I'm trying different food and everything. So she says, "Hey, you ever have a Krispy Kreme?" I said, "What's that?" "Oh, it's this donut place." Well, we never had a Krispy Kreme in New York.
We had Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, we had Dunkin' Donuts, right?
That was the only donut. Unless you went to the store, bought like Entenmann's.
Entenmann's, yeah. There you go. Now you're bringing me back, yeah.
Yeah. Next time I'll bring a box.
Where you get them?
I got a guy.
Oh, you got a guy, yeah?
I got a guy for anything. I get the magic phone.
She said, "Yeah, a Krispy Kreme." I said, "No, what's that?" So she took me to this place, and I see the donuts come off the conveyor belt.
And they go in the
sugar pouring over them, right? And I go, "Give me a dozen donuts and a cup of coffee." Just like that, right? They come out with the thing, and man, I mean these things. I'm like, what the?
It's air and sugar.
Yeah.
You could eat the whole box.
There's these two guys sitting not far away, and they heard me order. They heard me order a dozen donuts, a cup of coffee. They go, hey, Yankee. So I said, yeah, I'm a Yankee fan. What's up? Hey, Yankee, what are you doing here, Yankee? Well, what the fuck's it look like I'm doing? So they said, hey, Yankee, I bet you if we cut you open, you still got that same Yankee blood in you from 1,000 years ago, or 100 years ago, whatever it was. I says, okay, I bet you if we go outside, I says, I'll kick your ass like we did 100 years ago. So everything calms down, right? So the girl's telling me, come on, let's just leave. I said, no, I'm going to finish. Sat there, finished whatever I could out of the dozen donuts. I must eat like 5 or 6 of them, right? Taking the rest back to the hotel room. So I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes go by. We're getting ready to walk out. Here comes the two guys that came back right in broad daylight in the middle of the day. Like, had to be like maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She was off from work, right? They come with a pickup truck. They pull up. They got a shotgun right over the window. Hey, Yankee, what are you going to do now, Yankee? I got the donuts in my hand with a cup of coffee. So now you can't show you're nervous.
Right.
You know that. I'm saying, look at this. I'm going to get fucking shot. I'm going to get shot over here.
Shot by a hillbilly. I survived all of this.
I survived all of this.
To die in the middle of nowhere by a hillbilly.
So I told the girl, she starts screaming. And I'm going, come on, pull it. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. And I'm walking towards the truck. They go, Yankee, don't you come in it. So I'm saying to myself, if this guy didn't pull yet, he ain't going to pull. Yeah. And you know what? If you're telling somebody you're going to do something, like he ain't going to fucking do it, right? So anyway, I go like this here. So now I tell her to hold the coffee. She's screaming. I throw the coffee. I drop the box of donuts. I go, let's go. Come on. I says, get out of the car so I can stick the gun up your ass. So not even a minute or two goes by. Not even a minute, right? Cops come. They come with the pull out. They get out of the car. I'm thinking they're going to grab them. No. They do nothing to them. They grab me. They go, hey, get against the wall. What are you talking about? What are you doing here? Where are you from? Where's your ID? And now I don't have any ID.
Right, yeah. Now all of a sudden it's
I got nothing.
What happened was.
And I'm saying to myself, they got a gun pulled. They ain't doing nothing to them. But, I'm not from there.
Well,
you're from New York. You're a Yankee.
Also, you got to remember, when you leave New York City, they got different rules, different laws, guns. It's not a big deal.
So now what happens?
And yet you're the outside.
They don't do nothing to them. Now they want my ID. I don't have an ID. Right? So finally I go like this. I go, I got to call a friend of mine. He has my ID. I forgot it. So I got to call? I got to call the marshal.
Right.
So I go to pay phone. I call the marshal. And right away, the marshal already got the hit because once they put you in the system,
right.
it dings it right.
They type your name in. Oh,
marshal gets on the phone with the cop. However, they arranged it to get on the phone with the cop, and they let me go. I go back to the hotel room. The marshal comes right away. He squashes the whole thing. I didn't do nothing wrong though,
right?
But he got me out of there.
He was innocent.
So
it happens.
I'm sitting there and I'm telling him the story. You know what I mean? I told him he said, how'd you wind up like, what the hell happened? I told him I was in there minding my business with my girl. I had donuts, coffee. They started mouthing off and everything. He said, look, you gotta chill out. He says, me?
I'm the innocent victim.
Well, I says, when he turns around and says he's going to cut me open, what was I supposed to do? He said, you're supposed to get your things and leave. Kind of made sense.
Well,
but I wasn't built like that.
Right. In a normal world, yeah, absolutely.
I'm with the girl. I mean, she introduced me to her family. I was falling in love. I think, something, I mean, I think if I would have stood there longer, I might have fallen in love with this girl. She was the whole package, at least for the time I knew her. But who knows?
It's easy. They're different. They're different mentality, different behaviors.
Yeah, but I tell you,
I've been all over the world. I've met a lot of people, and none of them compared to Italian girl from New York or New Jersey.
I agree with you there.
Because that's a whole different animal.
Well, then let's just say I had a lot of fun, right?
Well, it's nice to have a little different something now and then.
I'm in this fucking hotel room for like 2 months. Now you're going fucking stir crazy. And then the whole hotel's looking at you like, what are you doing here so long? You know? And finally...
Oh, they didn't move you like to a different hotel or nothing?
No, you stay... You go to... they got different parts of the country where you have to... They call like a transition period. You're waiting for ID. You're waiting for something from wherever they do it, Washington or whatever connections they got. You're waiting for that piece of paper to come down. Well, finally the piece of paper comes. He goes, you're out of here. And where am I going? You know I can't tell you where you're going. So here we go again. Plane, another hotel room, another plane, another hotel room. And finally, guess where they put me?
Couldn't even guess.
Boise, Idaho. Now, today, Boise... yeah, but today, Boise's a nice place.
Yeah. Back then...
But what I'm saying is that back then, all these places, they are nice places to live. Like, you know, South Carolina, beautiful. Oklahoma, beautiful. Boise, Idaho, beautiful. These are nice places to live. But back then, you don't know any better because there was no internet. The internet was just coming on. It was that AOL. Remember the AOL thing?
The dial-up.
You got mail, eh? The dial-up. And it was kind of like these places growing up in New York, you hear like, oh my God, they got me in Timbuk, you know, bumf Egypt, we used to call it, right? I'm not gonna get along out there. I'm gonna go crazy. But when you think about it, you know, if you were established in any one of those places, even here, you know, they're more desirable, I think. Desirable place to live.
We may have had this conversation once or twice over the years. Where do you go from here?
I wind up in Boise, Idaho, right?
That ain't where I go. It's cold.
I'm driving.
I can't do the cold.
I'm driving, and I'm looking out the window. The marshal's driving me, right? And I'm looking. I see tumbleweeds, cows. I'm looking. I'm going, shaking my head. He goes, you jump at the conclusions. Okay, prove me wrong. Puts me in a hotel, and then he put me near like downtown Boise. Wasn't bad. I mean, it's not a downtown Manhattan or downtown Brooklyn.
No, there's nothing like that.
But like I said, these places were like the spots to go were like the franchises. Like
Applebee's,
we never went
Chili's.
We never went to like Chili's to hang out.
They didn't have any.
Right, like that was the spot. Like if they went after work to go have a drink.
Bennigan's.
Yeah, Bennigan's. What was the other place? The Outback. Outback was the spot in Tulsa. It's like everybody went to go drink by that bar there. You know, there was no after hours. There was a club, but maybe
should have
like
had your father come open after hours.
You never forgot that, huh?
Never. That was the funniest thing.
So all these franchise places were like, you know, actual places where people went to go drink. That was their nightlife. Same way, I'm in Boise, right? So I get on my feet. I get an apartment. You know, the marshal helps you with everything. You get an apartment, went and got a car, got a license, the whole thing. You change your name, all this other stuff. Before I never forget, I'm sitting on a lazy boy. I bought a lazy boy chair. I'm watching TV. I called somebody from the phone. I thought I had the block on the phone. Well, it wasn't a block on the phone. Phone goes, my number pops up with my name. Now, the person I called, they ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to say nothing either. Well, not even 3 or 4 hours later, I get a knock on the door.
Pack it up.
I open up. Let's go. Where are we going? You're breached. What do you mean I'm breached? The call came back to you. Well, how the do you know? We know everything.
They listen.
Pack your shit. What? No, let's go. Everything gone. Shirt off your back. Back in a hotel. I said, what the You're standing at the ceiling going,
how did I get in this mess?
Leave everything. Car, apartment, furniture, everything. Let's go. You want to pack a carry-on? Pack a carry-on. I told the marshal, I go, look, I said, why don't you hook me up? I'm not asking to go to Hawaii. I'm not asking you for money. I said, I'm a city guy. Give me something somewhat close to a city. So he feels bad for me. He goes, you know what? You've been going through a lot with us. I'm going to send you to Seattle. I said, okay. So it was not far from Idaho. Shoots me up to Seattle. Get a good marshal. Picks me up. The guy's been around for years, decades. Right? This guy must have been drunk in the car. He starts going off. I'm fucking tired of you guys. I'm tired of this shit. He was like mad at his job. I'm retiring in 3 weeks. I don't even want this case. I don't want this. I don't want that. I go, what are you telling me for? You know? So he starts going on and on and on. So finally he starts getting nasty with me for no reason. So I told him, I said, look, he starts, again, threatening me. Another guy throwing threats. I said, you know what? I'm tired of shit too. Take your gun and your badge off. Step outside the car. We'll see who the tough guy is. He goes, you talk to me like that? Well, look at the way you're fucking talking to me. So
right.
I get out of the car. I go, you know what? I don't want you to drive me nowhere. I get out of the car. I walk away. I start walking. Come back here. I said, you can't tell me shit. I said, I ain't coming back. I ain't getting a fucking car with you. He says, you come back here and everything else. I says, no. I said, I'm walking. I didn't even know where I was walking. I had nothing on me.
And you were in the middle of nowhere.
So I'm walking. He pulls up in the car, a few blocks away, gets out and apologizes. He said, Frank, I'm very sorry. He says, I'm going through some stuff. Sorry to pick it out on you. I said, you're telling me things I don't want to hear. You're talking about other witnesses. You're talking about other people. I don't want to hear that stuff. I told him, I said, plus, you want to throw indirect threats to me, and, you got a gun on you, you got a badge. I said, what did I do? I said, I didn't do nothing. I said, whatever you got going on, I said, is your issue. I said, I'm brand new over here. Because now, I apologize. Let's start with a clean slate. I shook his hand, and that was it. He puts me in Bothell, Washington. It's a nice town. Bro, I never forget. I was there about a week. There was an earthquake. You heard when there was an earthquake in Washington? It was like a thing. Everybody knew about it. I thought it was me that was dizzy. No, the actual freaking room, was shaking like a little bit. Like it was like a big thing in that state at that time. It was all over the news. So I was there, and I tell you, Seattle was nice back then.
Yeah.
I was taking the train.
That was when? 2099?
Yeah.
I was in Europe then.
I was taking Europe.
Yeah.
We got to get into that. Yeah. So anyway, I was taking the train down to Pike Place Market. I was going to eat. Good food.
And it's like the full fish market, but it works.
No, it's not the full fish market.
Which is another story for another day.
But I was going back and forth. So at least it was a city. And back then it was Starbucks. Starbucks would be waiting. There would be lines of Starbucks. Everybody was wired up in that city. For some reason, everybody was just like wired up on coffee.
Well, that's where Starbucks comes from. That's where what's that other places? The tea place?
Pete's?
Yeah, Pete's.
So here's how wired up they were on coffee. I'm watching this place, Starbucks, right? Which I don't even think we had them in New York yet. And I'm saying, why are they waiting in line like for this place in the morning?
To pay $5 for a cup of coffee.
No, I don't think it was $5 back then, right? I forgot how much it was. But they were waiting on, there was lines outside this place for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. I mean, like nonstop. And people are just wired. They're like in line, just like zombies. So I said, what the hell is this place? I wait for the line to die down. I go in there. I'm like, wow, this is good coffee. It's nice and strong, So I didn't last out there.
What would happen?
It's a whole nother story. I don't want to tease anybody, but I go write a friggin' book what happened. Let's pick this up on the next round. Well, usually what we say is, I'll see you when I see you. I'll catch you later.
All right. I'll see you when I see you then.
When I see you, buddy.
We'll have